Jordan, I know you got any number of guys that could be your leading receiver on any given day or week or whatever. But what does Jaden Reed, what dynamic does he bring to you guys?
Yeah, he does a lot. I mean, just the explosive playmaker he is. He's the guy that can win inside in the slot position for us and does a lot of really good things. And obviously you see what happens when he gets the ball in his hands and then, just the progression he's made throughout the season last year since when he got here, and then obviously now he's making even more strides. So he's a phenomenal player, and obviously I think he's going to have even a bigger role this year.
Y'all have so much receiving depth. Is it important to have a number one guy, a go-to guy, or how much of a difference does that make to have that one guy who kind of sets himself apart from the rest of the receivers?
Yeah, no, I think like you said, we have a lot of depth at that receiver position, which I think is a really good thing. I think it's a good problem to have, and I think there's, you don't have to have a number one receiver. I think it works out well when you can spread the ball out, and you got different guys making different plays, and you can put them in different areas. I think it puts a lot more stress on the defense, and the calls that they can get in. So I think in the long run it helps us in not having a number one guy, a true number one guy, but I think all those guys can step up and be the one, any given day.
How has your relationship with Matt LaFleur kind of changed opposed to this time last year to now?
Yeah, I think me and Matt have a much better feel for each other. Obviously, I've been here going on my 5th year, so I have a pretty good feel of the offense, and I've been able to learn more and more every year I've been here. So I have a better feel of what Matt's seeing and why he's calling plays, what he likes certain plays versus. So I think that relationship is just building. It's just getting better and better. But Matt's awesome. Everybody loves and respects Matt, and our relationship is, like I said, just continue to get better and better.
How different are the things you're doing in the offense now compared to a year ago? I mean, obviously, a year ago you're just trying to get everyone's names right? And now you have an offense coming into this offseason. How different is it?
Yeah, it's much different. I mean, I think just from a standpoint of, like I said before, those young guys that were rookies last year that, it's their first time hearing the calls and everything. Now we're at the level where we can change the plays in the line of scrimmage. They know the signals, so we can get to different plays if there's not a perfect concept called. So that's a huge plus and bonus where we can, take those steps forward this year, and we're not all kind of on that basic level where we can expand in the offense. And, I think everybody's just making those improvements. But it feels better. I'm seeing the game pretty well right now, and like I said, going on my 5th year in this same system, I have a much better feel for what I had last year, and it's just continuing to get better and better. But I think just being able to go out there in 2 minutes and be able to change plays and everyone's being on the same page is a huge bonus.
Nationally, I think the narrative about Jordan Love is still a young quarterback, but as you said, this is your 5th year. Do you feel like you hear this narrative and you just kind of laugh at it because you are a veteran? You have been here for a while.
Yeah, I've been here a while, but obviously at the same time, last year was my first year as a starting quarterback, getting those in-game reps. So, I understand it 100%. This is only my 2nd year going to the starter, so like I said, I've been here for a while, but at the same time, I'm still learning new stuff every day. There's so much more for me to learn and improve my game. So, I'm just taking it step by step, but I don't, listen to outside noise, things like that. But, I've been here. So, especially with a young team, I feel like more of the vet. So.
Jordan, those reps that you take, the advancement you're taking with these guys, is that all about reps, or is there things you've done in the offseason that's helped progress that and move that along?
It's all about reps. For them, just having a feel of what the defense is looking like and how they need to get to a route, how they should attack a DB. For me, seeing the coverage, knowing where to go with the ball. I mean, it's all reps, and every rep you learn, every rep you grow and get better as a player, and you get to go back and watch in the film and just really break it down and learn and figure out things you're going to do better next time that play's called. So, I think reps is the most important thing.
Jordan, you threw a bunch of passes to Luke last year, and you threw a bunch to Tucker, but not all at the same time, obviously, because of their injuries and whatnot. What benefit would that be to the offense when get both those guys out there this year?
It'd be huge. Anytime you can have all your weapons out there, I think it's just going to be better for you. Be able to rotate those guys in. When one needs a breather, you can get another guy in there. And now it's going to be even better because, like I said, both of them played a good amount last year, got a good amount of reps. So, they're going to be taking a huge step as well. But, having all the weapons we got out there is huge.
Okay, that's a matchup problem, so isn't it, for defense to have to go up against those guys?
I think so.
coming off the year that Melton had towards the end, especially, what have you noticed him in OTAs? Is there a little extra confidence or juice that he has that now that he's shown it on the field what he can do?
Definitely. I mean, I think anytime you can go out there and prove who you are as a player, I mean, it helps you. It helps you get that confidence going. But Bo is the same guy every day. You know what you're going to get. Bo came in and he definitely wasn't a starter last year, but he worked every day. You see him on scout team making plays and getting a touchdown, celebrating, and he's gonna treat it like a game. And he comes in, works, and that's why it was no surprise when his number was called and he goes out there and makes plays. And you see he's continued to do that this year. But you know what you're gonna get. He's a consistent guy, and he goes out there and works and tries to find ways to get better. So.
Do you feel like you have a role in building their confidence, Eddie, in all these young receivers, or is that more of a coach's thing? Or how does that fit in for you?
No, definitely. I mean, that's my job, and that's what I like to do. As my leadership style is to always try and give guys confidence and feed that confidence in themselves. And whether that's just getting them the ball, or if it's not a good throw, tell them that's my bad, but the route was perfect. Just little things like that. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of guys have that confidence in themselves, so just being able to go out there and make plays helps build that in them.
Jordan, when you look at the depth at receiver, do you see it as like each one of these guys sort of maybe brings something a little special that the other guys don't, or do you look at it as any one of these guys can step into any spot and do what I need him to do? Like, so what's your vision? What's your perception?
No, I definitely think you can plug any of these guys at any position, and they'll go out there and make plays. And I think a little of that was proven last year. I mean, we had different guys injured throughout the season, and guys had to move around a little bit, play some different spots that they might not have been used to. So I definitely think that is the case. But, I mean, you look at these guys and their skill sets. There's definitely – each person has their own kind of skill set and what they do great. So, I mean, just trying to find – that's the key, is trying to find that, put them in the best position to be successful. But, I definitely believe all these guys can step into any position, run any route, and make a play.
I'm sure you've had true number ones like in past stops in your career, and I'm sure Aaron would say like he locked into Devontae some plays even when maybe the play call didn't call for it, and people can understand why. Does this allow you just to forget about that and just do what's called and not look for a guy who might be a need to have it guy?
Definitely. I think that's one thing that I've always tried to do, is just play the play. Play the play, go through my reads, and find who's open. Don't try and force it, because I feel like once you try and lock in a guy and force it, not great things happen, and then you might miss somebody that might be open on the play. So just trying to play the play out, stay true to it, read it out, find the open guy. But I think these guys all understand that's what I'm trying to do. I'm never trying to force it to one guy in particular. But, play dependent. If there's a certain guy I might want to look at, matchup-wise, things like that, I'll go to him. But, yeah, I just like to play it out.
Jordan, on the flip side, though, is there a guy on this team that, a year or two from now we see as a 95-catch guy? I mean, is that possible that somebody could, end up being that guy?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
What have you seen from Marshawn Lloyd? Steno was telling us that, when AJ came in, he didn't really play as the number 3 behind Aaron and Jamal, but he said you're going to have to find ways to get Marshawn on the field. What have you just seen from him early on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough right now, just with practice, what we're doing, with no pads, things like that, not live, but you could see just how, instinctual he is, his cuts, things like that, and, he's like a little rocket back there. He's got a lot of speed, and I think when we get live, he's going to be a hard guy to tackle and bring down, and, there's definitely going to be room for him to get in that lineup and make plays, but it's obviously he's got to compete for that role and things like that. But I'm definitely excited to see what he can do once we start getting live.
Wicks and Reed spent the offseason together. What have you seen from those guys here during the OTAs?
Yeah, I mean, for them, like I said before, it's night and day. This time last year when they just got here, they're still trying to learn the playbook, and just a lot of not knowing exactly how to run a route, where they should be, just a lot of overthinking. And now you see them out there, and they just know exactly where they need to be. They're playing really fast right now. They're making plays. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just knowing where you need to be and getting there. Having a plan for, how to attack the DB and win on the route. And they're just making plays. So it's very fun to see. And those are two guys that made a lot of big time plays for us last year, and I think the sky's the limit for them.
Have you gotten together with any guys for side sessions and throwing sessions, or is that something that you wait until after the camp?
No, we have. So obviously I train a good amount with Romeo because we're in California together. We actually train with the same guy, so me and Rome get a good amount of work in, and then Wicks and Jay Reed both came out and got some work in with us. So it just depends on guys' schedule and if they can make it out, things like that. But anytime they want to get out, it's awesome to see them get out there. So
are those sessions, now that you have a full season of sample size and working together under your belt, are they different than they were a year ago? Are they the exact same?
No, I mean they're pretty similar. I mean we go out there, we work different routes and things like that, which is all on air. But like I said before, I mean these guys they know. They have a better feel of how to run routes and things like that, so I think for them it helps. But they're pretty basic, throwing sessions. I would say it helps to get that chemistry down and get throwing, and see guys making plays when we're not here.
That's awesome. Two more for Jordan.
Tom Clements was saying a couple weeks ago that one thing you did a lot better as the season went on was when you scramble, not just take off and run, like keep your eyes up and look for a play downfield. Was that something you had to teach yourself to do, and what's the key to kind of trying to keep a play alive instead of just taking off?
Yeah, I mean that's always the test because I am I feel like I'm a playmaker where when a play does break down, I always want to try and make that play and feel like I can and I have that ability. But just finding that thin line of when to take off and run and when to keep your eyes down. But I definitely, my play style, I like to keep my eyes down and try and get the ball in my hands and get it to those guys because I think there's some bigger plays downfield. I'm not the fastest guy, so I'm not about to run for an 80-yard touchdown or anything, but I think there's a lot more bigger plays out there that happens. But I mean, I think that's just playing position, getting more reps, getting a better feel for it. But there's so many different things I learned throughout last season, like just instances where a play might get off, and instead of hanging away and just trying to find that check down and get those positive plays and just keep moving and not taking steps backwards. So that's, like you said, your question, my biggest thing is I always try to make those plays and get it out of my hands to the playmakers.
Knowing what you know so far, and this is your 5th year, how special is this team so far for you right now?
Very special. The bond that I think last year we started off and we came a lot closer just through the adversity we went on in that season and making a run at the end there. But coming into OTAs, there's been so much energy in the building, and since I've been here, I feel like this is the closest the team's been. And it's very awesome to see, and guys are going out there and competing. And like we talked about before, just having everybody here right now at this time is very cool because you just build those relationships and get closer with guys and get to go out there and work and compete with them every day. So I think this team's in an awesome spot right now.
So Jordan, what does last year do for you? Because on the one side, we keep hearing Matt talk about it doesn't mean anything now, right? It's a new season. But at the same time, there's lessons you learn as a player. There's connectivity that's increased. So how do you utilize last year in a constructive way to make this year an even better?
Yeah, I think just what you said. Last year I like to learn from every rep. I feel every rep is a learning experience, whether it's good or bad. So, I getting my first chance to play a whole season. There's so much stuff to learn from and grow from, and I feel like we talked about earlier, just as many reps as you can get is going to make you better, just because you're able to learn and you see different looks, you see different things the defense is doing and what they want to do to try and take advantage of what you're doing on offense. So, I think, like I said, the good and the bad, there's so much stuff to learn from, and like we say, it's over, but I mean, you still got to look back at that tape and be able to learn and grow and watch it with a positive mindset of trying to get better, not just trying to look at like highlights and things like that. So there's definitely a lot of reps out there to learn from.